Mayur.
Good evening, Sanjeev. Yeah.
Good evening.
Good
Good evening. How are you,
evening.
Sakshi?
I'm doing great. How are you, sir?
Very good. I think my laptop is having some video problem.
No
So
worries. So
you
shall
know,
we wait for a couple of minutes before
I'll wait
starting?
for a minute or two.
Sure.
Um, when I'm clicking on this video, what is actually getting seen right now,
Your entire screen.
and not the video screen. Okay.
Yeah.
Depends on more will get joined very soon. So good evening, everyone. Today we have the ninth day of Run 75 with the theme Reskill, Upskill, and New Skills. And we have with us the speaker for today's session, Sumit Bihani, who needs no introduction because he has done a lot of session intelligence at GPT. And we have also a very dynamic and young chartered accountant, Sakshi Jhajaria, who has been the coordinator for today's session. And this session, let me tell you, is going to be very important and very relevant for all of you because because in this session we are doing it just post elections. So there was a big question in the morning when we were discussing of whether we should hold today's event or not, and actually we should because the voting is closed. So we are sitting at 6:30 and the education should not stop. So this is not coming in between any voting process. We also have with us Mayur Agarwal, who is the secretary of EIRC, who is also in the panel sections. And we have all the lovely participants. Sumit, as we see, we have over right now 50 plus participants who had come forward to learn. And this is how the profession is going to grow, wherein we all work together, collaborate together. And that is the theme of today's session on how we can take the most benefit of Google Workspace, which is actually all about collaboration, which is all about how different tools work together to give us solutions, which talks about how, there are more than 50 plus tools in Google, which is actually involved in creating a solution for a client. Let's say you want to send 5,000 emails to a client on a particular parameter based on certain data, based on certain surveys. And all of that can be possible once we integrate. And basically, we request Sumit, I don't know how much time he will have and how much is that, but then we have the lock of, we are trying to wrap up everything within 75 minutes. But if the speaker and the audience wants to continue further, we are good with that. But to show how we can integrate multiple applications in Google to create a solution, I think that will be the most important ask for today. So please stay tuned. Let's make this the most happening event of EIRC, wherein we celebrate our 75 years and we come up with these 75 topics, which is going to be very, very relevant and important for all of you. With that, I'll give the proceedings to Sakshi. Mayur, if you are available, you can also share a few words and then we can move to Sakshi.
So, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Chairman, for your address. I would just like to say one thing. After this 75 minutes, Sumit Bhaiya is a prolific speaker. He will give us lot of ideas and lot of insight on Google Workspace. But then we will only get the idea after the idea, again, the most important thing is to execute this idea, implement this idea. What we need to do is at least two things we need to note down and try to implement in our day-to-day working in next 7 days. That will bring real change in our working, and that will actually help us. And once we start using that, we need to make our office colleagues and other articles and employees start using that. Accordingly, this will become a chain, and ultimately each one of us will be benefited. That's it. Happy learning to each one of you.
Thank you so much for a wonderful kickstart for the session. A very good evening to the esteemed panelists, our esteemed speaker, and a wonderful audience. It's really my pleasure to extend this warm greetings on the day when we are concluding the biggest festival of democracy. The future of our nation would be decided on the 4th of June, but honestly, the future of our profession is truly automation, and how we can use different tools, how we can use whatever is available in the market to the best possible way in which we can actually save our time, we can give the best value to our clients. And I still remember the first email ID that I ever created was on Gmail, and I think that is true for most of us. And of course, what's a better place to take backup than Google Drive? And honestly speaking, this is not even a glimpse of what Google Workspace can do for us. And I would now like to introduce our esteemed speaker for the evening. CA Sumit Bihani is a practicing chartered accountant. He holds a diploma in information systems audit from ICAI and is certified in forensic audit and fraud detection and concurrent audit of banks. He is a partner in NDRM and Associates Chartered Accountant. He has experience in the field of internal audits and third-party audits and has conducted quite a few seminars on Google automation and Excel. So we are delighted to have you here, and we look forward to learning a lot from you. Over to you.
Sakshi, just 1 second before Sumit starts in, there is an important announcement. So tomorrow we are taking rest so far as Run 75 is concerned, because tomorrow is Sunday, and this event we are doing is Monday to Saturday. But on Monday, we are coming back with another important session on cybersecurity, how you can protect your office, your data, your team, which is again going to be very, very challenging. So it's purely on cybersecurity and data security. Please block your time and please spread this message to your fellow professionals. That is a session which we are going to do tomorrow, and try to be as interactive as possible so that Sakshi can note down all the questions, whatever you have in the chat, and maybe Sumit and Sakshi can decide when to answer those questions. So over to you, Sumit.
Thank you so much, Sanjeev Bhaiya. Thank you so much, Mayur, and I'll always be thanking Sakshi throughout the session for helping me navigate. So a very good evening to all of you, and a very difficult but a very close subject to my heart, because difficult because it's a never-ending subject, and even I feel that I know only tip of the iceberg, and there are several tools to explore. So as we get started, one simple request I would like to have from all of you is that let's keep this session, engaging. So the more we answer, the more we learn, and together we grow together. That is the ultimate objective. And so I'll just before I begin the topic on Google Workspace, I'd like to thank the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India and the Regional Council for bringing such an amazing concept of Run 75, which has 75 sessions. And I am really thankful again that I've been one of the people to be in this session and express some or share some of my experiences with you. So as we start the agenda, I'll just quickly touch upon the agenda of the meetings or the session. So we'll like to initially, I'll demonstrate few of Google Gmail hacks. There can be a situation where few of you must be knowing or maybe knowing few of them. So I would like to apologize for them. Then we'll quickly touch upon Google Docs, Google Sheet, and Google
Sumit,
Form.
can you do a slideshow? Because I think it's open. That will be better.
Like slideshow, I'm actually not willing to do because
Okay.
I'll keep
fine.
on sharing the screen. So anyways, I'll talk. So is it better now, Sanjeev?
Yes. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. So these are the few topics I'd like to touch upon. and followed along with few use cases. So I'll come back to my slide and I'll start with Google templates. So just a quick questions. So let's keep the session engaging and let me know your feedbacks in the chat box so that I'll be in a better position to deal or to navigate the session. So a quick question: that how many of us use templates, Google templates? Does anyone use Google templates? So there's a very good tool in Google. Suppose if I am writing an email which is on a continuous basis, say for instance, I write a email for payment reminders, or I write an email for GST returns. Every month I write an email to all of my people or of my clients asking for GST data. So if that is the case, there's a very good use case in Google, which is a template. So you can, because there are two situations. I write the email every time. This can be one, or second situation can be that I write a template or I make a template and I keep it on my local computer. So the problem is that one, in case you are writing it again and again, one, you are wasting time. Second, there is no standardization because you are writing emails based on your that state of mind. Second, in case you are keeping it on your local computer, the difference is that it is available at that point of time only. So if you are not in office or if you are using your any other computer, then the access to that Gmail is not available. So what I'm trying to showcase here is that if all of us are probably finding it difficult to get the right people around in our team. But template, which is a reply for an interview. At this point of time, if you see, there's no subject here and there's no text written in the email. So I go to template, I go to reply for interview, and with a click of a button, the subject and the entire stuff is written. So what is the email? It is hi. So I need to fill in the name of the candidate whom I'm replying to. Appreciate you for writing to us. In case he has sent us his or her resume. Request you to please come to our office for an interview. So this is the time and date which we need to mention. Apart from that, the address, our Google location, our phone number, contact details, all are available. So the idea is that if you're requiring these kind of common situations in life, or if you come across these kind of common situations where you are asking for data related to filing, or you are sending reminders for bill, so you can make this template available. So how do I make this template available? I go to compose, I write, say for instance, reply or reminder for payment. Compose a mail, I can write dear sir, madam, or alternatively, I can keep a blank here. Right? And I write the entire text here. I select this text. I click on these three dots, right? And then I go to template and save draft as template. So it is asking me, are you willing to change the template or you want to create a new template? So I can say, this would be a new template. So if I click on this, it would ask that you want this template to be written as a reminder for payment, or do you want some other topic? So this is a simple use case which could probably save 5 to 10 minutes every day or every week or every month, depending on your use case. So this is a very good tool which I feel like every one of us should use in case it is feasible. So the next use case is I'll be sharing the entire PPT with the organizer, or probably we'll try and share it with a Google link also. So how do you enable this template is also documented here. That what is the process? You go to setting, you go to enable the template, and then how do you save the template? Second is a email situation where you are out of office or you are into a different location, and the team is sending you a document, and then you are asking to make some corrections, and then again they are sending, and then again you are advising to make some corrections. So as a result, what happens then, in a span of 10-15 minutes, there are several mails on the same subject or about the same topic. So after this is there are two situations. One, that after probably a year or so, you'll actually confuse that what was the original email, and second would be that how do what was the first initial problem would be that what was the last document or what was the original document. So all of us would say that the last timestamp document probably would be the last document, but in there can be cases where you don't you'll land up into some of the different difficulties because of these repetitive emails. So one simple solution is that you go to your Google Drive. Just hold on. You go to your Google Drive. Say for instance, I copy this Excel file. So I click on these three dots, share, copy link. So when I copy link, you need to always check this icon because it is manage access. So it is saying that you want only the right access, right to see or any. So one is that I can share it with some email IDs. Only a person with that email ID logging through that email ID will be able to see. Second is that anybody with the link, so anybody having the link of the file can see this file. And again, there are access to edit or to view. So for the time being, I copy this link. Anyone with the link, I'll copy the link here. And then I go to compose. So there are two options. Say for instance, if I'm writing an email to self, I write this email here and I write details of that whatever the situation is. There are two situations. One, I click paste like this. So the entire link is being pasted. But to my understanding, it does not look very tidy, and it would not probably add that professional look to my email. So rather than doing this, I would write, please find PFA, the PFA. And then I click on this PFA. I go to this icon on the extreme end, which is link insert link. And then I insert the link here. The result, what happens that, rather than I pasting the data like this, the data is here. And if I I'll send it to myself only. So it would look like this. So anybody with the link, if they click it here, they'll be able to check. So again, these are collaborative working. So even if somebody has given you an edit access, you can check it or edit certain things from your mobile also. Suppose that, this is the way how do we, send it in case on a later point of time, if you feel or if you fail to recollect that how was this done. So the procedure to do is also attached in the PPT. Say for instance, if there's a good option in Gmail, which is snooze. How does snooze help us? Snooze would help us with a option like you see there's an icon here called snooze. So if I want that, I've received an email, but I want to check it, or I want to remind, I want to, it's a kind of simple reminder that, I want to check it after some time, or after 2 hours, or after 3 hours, or a given point of time, or a given date. So this can be, snoozed for a later point of time, and on that desired day, it will again appear on top of your Gmail. So it's a good, reminder or a good hack to manage, right? Of my friends must be knowing this by now, but one of my favorite ways to write email is schedules. And say for instance, if I'm supposed to meet you on Monday, or if I'm working on say for instance today, and I work till 2:30 at night, and then I send an email at that point of time, to my understanding, it does not look professional. Or the alternative way, if I've given a work to my office colleague and he feels like, I'll go late to office tomorrow, so I'll mail this at 4:30 in the morning, and I'll say that the entire night I was working. So this is a small tool by which, you can schedule emails rather than sending at this point of time. So I go to schedule, send, and then I can pick up a date and time and I can schedule the email. This was one. So again, there's a very good tool. Say for instance, in normal mid-sized CA firms, there are usually a single email ID which is managed by the entire team, and some of a client may be willing that the partner only sees that email, or alternatively, he wants only a team member who's working on the file sees that email. So rather than sending an email normally, what he would do, he would send it through a password protected or an encrypted method. So I go to this icon. Then there are three, situations in this. One, that it would expire on a given point of time. So it may expire on 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, or 5 years, whatever your use case is. Again, you can put an SMS code. So what would SMS code do? So if I write an email here, I want to write audit report, draft audit. Then I attach a audit report, right? For instance, this is my audit report for the time being. This is a JPJ file, you may say, but again, the lack of time. So I attach this file here. Do not attach it like this. Then I'll send. Right. So it is asking me that what is the number you want us to send the OTP. So for the time being, I'll use my own number. So the email is being sent, right? As I've sent it to my email ID itself, it is opened. Elsewise, it would have required a user ID OTP to open the email. And then if you see one more icon is there that it will not allow me to forward. Okay, it is not gone in a proper manner. Sorry, allow me 1 minute. Probably it will take a minute time to reach. A minute would be a little higher only. If you see, it is saying that it is on a confidential mode and I'm not able to see anything. So it is asking for a passcode. I say send passcode. So I'll get an OTP on my mobile. Now it is showing the email. So the body, the text, everything is locked. And again, if you see here, I don't have that access to forward this email. So one, it has a restriction on forwarding the email. It has a restriction on time. So if you want that email should, vanish from your inbox tomorrow. So this is also possible with this function. Next is a very simple use situation that, we receive multiple emails from a client. Say, for instance, I receive an email So there can be one of our clients or all of our, probably few of our clients must be sending different emails. Okay. So I asked for a capital gain statement from my broker. So they have sent me these many fund-wise schemes. So if I send it forward to my person who is filing my income tax return, so one option is that I may go to individual, emails and then forward it to that person. But the challenge is that one, if I'm required to send more than 4 or 5 emails, I may miss out on sending email. And again, the inbox looks very clumsy. So there's a very good option. I go to compose, I click on these 5 emails which I'm supposed to send to the person, and I simply do a drag and drop. Right. So what happens? Let's see that once I've done a drag and drop, all of these emails are attached to this email of mine as attachment. And as a result, what happens? I don't know. I'll show it. How would this look? I'll send to Bihani.Sumit again. So these are attachments to my email. And if I click on this attachment, I'll be able to see the entire email, and even I'll be able to download this PDF. So this was a very simple use case which could have saved time, at the same time could have organized your, inbox. The next use case in Gmail is, well, this is probably the last. Yes, this is the no, probably the last, because I'll use one more use case after this. So, we all, how do we all convert data from a PDF to, whenever we are required to, make convert data from a PDF to Word file, we all remember a very common site, that is I love PDF. Right. So rather, but there are, just hold on for a minute. So if I'm supposed to convert a PDF into Word file, so the first thing which would come to my mind is I love PDF. But the problem with I love PDF is that it's an open source tool, and people using confidential data may restrict or may always hesitate to use this. So we have a very simple situation. I'll upload that document to my Google Drive. So if, for instance, this is my Google Drive, go to folders. So if this is my PDF, which I want to convert, and considering that it has some confidential data, and I'm not very comfortable in sharing it on I love PDF. So I'll click on these 3 dots. I'll go to open with, and I'll then click on Google Docs. So if you see this PDF, so this data is on a PDF, and I'm not able to alter any or do anything. But when it will open in Google Doc, let's see what happens. So again, this is extracted in Google Doc, and now you see that I'm able to change the PDF statement. Simple use case with respect to, rather than sharing data on I love PDF, you can upload it simply on your Google Drive, and then with 3 dots, you go and open with Google Docs. So I hope this was useful, and you will be able to help use it over a period of time. Last simple use case is that uh, say for instance, I'm supposed to meet Sanjeev Bhaiya or Mayur in institute, and considering that they are always occupied with some or the other thing, and it's very difficult to find out a common availability. When I am available, he's not, or probably when so mutual availability is usually a challenge. So how do I find a mutual availability? So I'll go to my email, I'll compose my email, and I write time for meeting. I'll click on these 3 dots. Right. So lastly, we have used this dot called template. Now we'll use setup time to meet. So I click on set up time to meet. And now if I am writing that email, I'll offer 3 or 4 or 5 or multiple, open slots in my calendar. Say for instance, I'll just hold on for a minute. So I go to tomorrow, Sunday. I say that I am available here. I am available here. I am available here. Then I click on next, right? Then I add this to email. So what happens that I am stating that these are the 3 or 4 or multiple options available where I am available for a meeting, and considering on mutual availability, they can select any of those slots and we can, book both of our calendars and I can send. So this was a simple use case where, sharing, this can be used for somebody who is very busy or probably who runs on appointment and is very particular about his calendar. This can be a very good use case with email. So post this, let's drive to Google Docs. Before doing so, in case there are any queries, I'll be happy to take. So anyone, if you have any queries, please feel free to write on the chat box, or else we'll move to Google Docs. Read receipt in Gmail is not primarily available in Gmail via a Gmail add-on, but yeah, there are several add-ons which provide you with a read receipt option. Calendar maintenance. I'm so sorry. What's calendar maintenance? If you can please elaborate. So Momita, I think we'll take it later. So I'll start again, represent my screen, and I'll start from here. So Google Docs, I think, how many of us use Google Docs as such? Shorten link. Okay, sure, I'll show it. So you are trying, Manishi, you are trying node template because you have to first save templates and then you can use those templates. So the idea is that, once you write, select this data, you go to these 3 dots, templates, and then you have to first save. Because if you have not saved, then how would this, function? Opening PDF docs in Word can save the document. Sure, that can be saved. So how is that available? So I can simply go on this 3 dots and download. Once this is downloaded, it is on my, local computer, and this would work seamlessly the way you want to. Date and time of work or assignment. Let's connect Bhavitaji once for that. I'm not really very able to understand this. But so this document would come to your local computer, and post that you can, do whatever you feel like. I'll quickly touch to, I'll quickly demonstrate 2-3 small stuff related to Google Docs, and then we'll take it forward from there. So in case you are using it if you are not regularly using this, so I'll show how to launch Google Doc once before I start. So I go to Drive, I go to New, I go to Google Doc. So these are all the products available. So you want to open a Google Doc, Google Sheet, Google Slides, Google Form, anything you feel like can be, viewed from this. So for the timing, I'll go to Google Docs, correct? So I'll not open it here. I'll open it on the other email ID because I have a few things to show you there. So this is my Google Doc, which I was trying to showcase. So once I've opened a Google Doc, this would look like a normal Word file, right? But there are two, three simple stuff which probably is interesting to me. And I hope you, even equally you find this interesting. So one is that when usually during our audits, what happens is that the audit notes are saved, or the audit working are saved on a local computer of either the article or the client. And there are times when the mutual availability of partner and the audit staff is not available. So he may leave at the client's office at 5:36, and the problem would be that once he had left, we realize, or at the later point of time when we are willing to check the data, the files are not available because he had left by then. So some few of my friends would say that to eliminate that, we ask our client that every time you leave, email us the data. So that probably would not be that good effort, because you'll have multiple emails, and as a person I would not like to keep previous emails on my working. So rather than that, I would ask my client, my audit staff, to upload the documents on a Google Drive, or upload their notings on a Google Drive, so that I can review it at any given point of time I would want. So once, say for instance, in my case, if these are the audit work notings which they have done it, and they have uploaded on my Google Drive, or on my office or our common office Google Drive, so then I make a template here, where how that one, in this I insert his noting. So if there are, considering that there are 3 people involved in my team, so I can mark, if I write @ initially, followed by that I can mark whoever is there in the email. Say for instance, Rahul Rungta is a good friend of mine. So if I write @Rahul Rungta, it will notify him that that you have been taken, or you've been looped in this discussion. So one is you write @, and once you click that person, it would ask on your right hand side of the table that do you want to share the file access to him or her. So considering that we are working on the same environment, I would like to. And then you can write whatever your notings are. Say for instance, what I mean is, so if there are 3 audit staffs working, so you can individually mention them on a comment, and again on that file, say for instance, so I am mentioning Sumit Bihani on this audit note file, and I am mentioning Rahul Rungta on this peer review file. So it is very easily communicable that this is actionable, or he is supposed to answer me on this situation. So is it making sense? In case any queries, please feel free to ask. Shorten link. Okay, sure, I'll show. Any questions related to this? So अगर कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं है, तो देयर आर 2 सिचुएशन, या तो किसी को कुछ समझ में नहीं आया, या सबको सब कुछ समझ में आ गया. तो अगर पहला वाला है तो बहुत डिफिकल्ट है. Rest, अगर if everyone of you are able to understand, it's an amazing situation. So anyways, I'll show you a shorten of the link just in 2 or 3 minutes from here. So how do I do it? I'll again go to tools. Sorry, I'll go to format, right? So with respect to the shorten of the link, I go to compose, I write my email, whatever the subject may be. So again, I go to Google Drive. I copy this link. So I click on these 3 dots. Share. Copy link. I again come back to compose. Say for instance, I want to link it with any file, any word in my email. So I write PFA here, PFA the doc. I want to link it with either the docs or the entire line. So whatever I want to link it with, I'll select that place. I'll go to insert. I'll put in the URL. So this is the URL. This is linked with this doc. So alternatively, if you want the entire text to be linked, you again select this data and you click on be the link. So somebody clicks on this text, will be able to open that file. Coming back to building blocks, which we were discussing. I go to tools format. So these building the blocks are normally coming as default, but I don't want these. So I'll go to insert, building the blocks. So when I go to insert and then I go to building the blocks, it has several options. One is that I can write a meeting notes. Second is I can email a draft. I can make a product review or product roadmap, review tracker, project assets. So anything you feel like. So first use case, I'll show you how to write, or what we have done was this probably. So this was not the case which we have done. So we again go to insert, building the block, project assets. So project assets may when I click on this file, I can link the respective documents. So this is one. Second, maybe an Excel. So response sheet can be linked to this. Third can be a PDF also. So, based on so all the documents which are available on your Google Drive can be linked to this. Second, you can take a respective person, and then either you can write text, or in case you want to work on a drop down menu, you can write your own drop downs, not started, in progress, under review. Or even if you want to create further drop down, you can create it from here. Now, when you create a drop down, the best part is that you restrict the user from entering us. You are restricting the user to enter a structured data, because if he writes not started and then again he writes n small, then he writes not, then a space or double space. So this becomes a difficult task, because you find it very difficult to apply filters. So just to structure the data, you usually restrict the user from entering data in a specified format only. So this was one. So this is in case if you feel like you can create a tabular format of reporting dashboards, which can be of help. Second is, if I like to show you one more use case, which is I open a new file. I'll open a new Google Doc. So I go to view. So I'll again go to building a block. This time I'll email a draft. Why I'll email a draft? Because at times I feel that my spelling is not that correct, or I have written a response through Chat GPT or Google Gemini, and I want to re-edit that in my personal note, and then I want to send. So normal case would have been that, so I'll show you what I mean. So first of all, I write my email ID here, different email ID this time. So I'll write demo.Sumit Bihani. Subject is reminder for payments. So if I write, say for instance, rather than writing, I go to Gemini and I ask it, I want to ask, please write an email. So alternatively, I go to Chat GPT and I ask, write me a reminder for payment, right? So this is what the GPT has written. Chat GPT would be a better option, better example in this situation. I'll explain you how. You go to there, simple do a copy paste, correct? But everyone is saying that, whenever you are writing with GPTs, any of the GPTs, this can be easily detected. So it's always a better advice to do some modification by self. I write, dear Sumit, and so that whatever changes I want to make, I make. At times I find my spelling is not that correct. So when you are writing in a Word file or a doc file, it will always show that the spelling is correct. There can be a grammar. You can do whatever you feel like with this. So once I've written the text in complete, then I click on preview Gmail. So what happens, it opens my Gmail and it directly goes to my draft. So this is appearing in my Gmail draft, and if I want, I can send it from here. So rather than writing on a Word file, then doing a copy paste, because at times the format may change. If the one of a different situation can also arise, that in my Gmail I find that this needs to be changed, and then the font size at times changes because you have copied it from some other document which had a different font size, and here the font size changes. So this can be a very simple use case where you write compose email from a doc. So considering all the amendments you have done, and you click on preview to Gmail, and then it goes directly to your draft. So it is in my draft copy. So alternatively, I 2 minutes before I say that I should have done it through Chat GPT rather than doing it through Gemini, because if you are working in Gemini in our atmosphere, it is there. There's an option here, share and export, if you are able to see. So with this three connected dots, I can export it to a doc, which will go and sit on my Google Docs, or alternatively, I can write draft in Gmail. So if I click on draft in Gmail, what would happen is, let's see what happens. I open Gmail here again. So rather than performing that copy paste again, it is available on my draft. So I don't do any copy paste. It is coming directly from Gemini platform to my Google draft. So this can be a very good use case if you like, or if you want to apply it. How to do it in case on a later point of time I've even given the data. So again, a very simple use case with Google Docs could be that you may use it to translate. You can do a voice typing. So now few of my friends would say that was different in voice typing. I'll show you one simple situation which would probably be new to you. I hope. Let's see what happens. In the meantime, I'll just check for some of the chats. How to clean Gmail? Clean Gmail storage, try not working. Same. Bulk email like 200 at a time. So bulk email could be easily sent through a simple technique of Google Mail Merge, and there's a Google add-on, free add-on available. You can send up to 500 emails if you have a free email ID, and you can send up to 1500 emails if you have a paid email account. I'll share a link of the video how you can configure the same, but today I'll not be taking that. So again, we'll go to voice typing, right? This time, again, go to my Google Doc. Tools. So go to voice typing. Hi everyone. बट आप बोलेंगे कि इसमें क्या बड़ी बात है, ये तो हमें आता है. बट again, if in case you are tried it, it's very good. But alternatively, what happens is I go to voice typing, and this time I would select Hindi. And I'll again show that. अगर आप बोल रहे हैं आपको आता है, और आप फिर भी हिंदी नहीं लिखना चाहते या आपने बहुत टाइम से हिंदी नहीं लिखी और अगर आप कॉन्फिडेंट नहीं है तो आप इस तरीके से लिख सकते हैं. So we all may be using text in English, but again, if you are using it any vernacular, you feel like this can be a very good use case. So I with this, I would like to touch upon capability of Google, which is Google Forms. Just a quick answer, question that how many of us are using Google Forms? If you can please reply on chat. So these many people are saying that they use Google Forms, right? Sakshi, correct?
Right.
So in case all of us know Google Form, then there is no point to explain Google Form to my understanding. Let's in that case dive into the new topic. Or
No,
you would
no,
like
Gmail भी हम सब use करते हैं भैया. But we didn't know about so many options available. Please
sure. So
continue.
I'll demonstrate 2 or 3 simple tricks in Google Forms. I hope this will be able to matlab this will add value over a period of time. Yes, maybe some better hacks. Some better hacks is a very difficult topic, but still I'll try to do some. Google form in brief. Yes, Manish, I'll surely do that. So before I do that, there's 2 small questions on the Q&A section that how can we use Gmail for regular message or email to our clients for due date reminders. So in case you want to write, so one small tool could be templates, but considering that you have a larger audience to cater and you want to write multiple emails on, so I mean like 10, 15, 20 emails in one go. So Google Mail Merge could be a very good solution. It's a Google tool, and the best part is that if you use a third-party tool, at times it goes to spam. But if you use this tool, it will not go to spam. But again, on the first day, don't send 500 emails because it may then go to spam. And the second is how can I send due date reminders? So again, the due date reminder आप template use कर लीजिए या फिर alternatively आप mail merge कर लीजिए अगर आप एक साथ लोगों को due date reminder भेजते हैं तो correct. So Google, coming back to the topic, Google Forms. So the idea of why do we use Google Form? The picture, the picture available says that you are trying to collect. So whenever there's a situation when you are trying to collect data or response, say for instance, I want to collect a feedback for my session, that how was my feedback. So you can always, I can always collect that data over Google Form. So I'll show you how do we use or what a few use cases of Google Form. So again, we go to this icon or 9 dots in Google. I go to Google Drive. Again, I go to New and then to Google Form. Right. So before I'll just so previously we had prepared a Google form for GST registration also. I'll show that to you. So can anybody suggest me a topic for a Google form? Google Forms in brief, right? We have done it. Collect and organize it. Absolutely correct. Feedback. So I'll take that risk of feedback, but again, they may be. I'll not show you what were the feedbacks because there can be different opinions. So feedback session, right? So these 2 data points are interlinked. So I say uh, first point of feedback could be coverage of the topic. So I'll show you matlab, 2, 3 situations. So one is I can have a multiple choice where you may feel that it was good, bad. So let's say ki, I'll keep a multiple choice here. So it would be good, okay, bad, right? This can be my first. Again, there are two small icons. One is required. So I want this to be mandatory. So there can be a case situation where you want, say for instance, I'm collecting a data from you where I am asking for mobile numbers and email ID, but people may not be very happy in sharing that. So I can keep that as an optional field. But here I want to make this mandatory. So with this radio button can be used for making it mandatory, right? So for the time being, I make this mandatory. Then I click on this next icon, which is add a question. Then I ask scale the speaker, rate the speaker. So the moment I ask rate the speaker, or when the moment I write rate the speaker, look, it has by itself understood that you want a rating. So the rating would be on a linear scale of 1 to 5. So 1, so I, matlab 1 being good, 5 being bad. Or there can be an alternative option also. So again, I make this required. Then I go to the third option, which is one thing you have learned. So in this, I want you to write a paragraph. It can be so that I want you to write paragraphs. Just allow me a minute. Right. So I want you to write a shortened paragraph, means a short paragraph. I want you to write a big paragraph, or even I can embed a multiple choice in this. I can have a drop checkbox. I can have a drop down. So these can be few good options available. So I'll not go to file upload. I'll show that the usage of file upload in some other place. So one good thing you have learned could be a short answer, because I don't want a big answers, right? So this is one. Again, if you want, you can have, say for instance, I'll show that somewhere. So there's one more option which is called validation control. So if you want that, response validation. So response validation would mean that if I'm asking for a PAN number, or if I'm asking for an email ID, say for instance, I ask one more question, which is email ID. I make it non-mandatory, but I do a response validation. क्या response validation कि the email ID should contain at the rate. So somebody writing a email ID is sumit@gmail.com. So it will say that this should contain at the rate. So these are few use cases where you can build inside the Google form to collect better data. So this was another use case which we have we use in our office, but it's not that same form. So what is the difference? So there's an option called response validation. Based out of your one response, it will take you to the another screen. So what I meant here was I'll click on the link. So let me get the link of the form. I'll shorten the URL. I'll copy, and I'll even post it on chat box. So I'd request, everyone, if you want, even you can check. So what happens is that when I click on this form, the first question is it's a common form which is made for GST registration. So last time when I was demonstrating this, few of my senior professionals said that this none of the clients would be sending all the data over Google form. I say no worries, I know they'll not send. But anytime somebody asks you for a GST registration, so this form is related to GST registration documentation. So if somebody asks, I want to apply for GST for an individual. Somebody may ask, I want to apply for a partnership firm. Somebody may ask for an LLP. Somebody would ask for a company. So in all the given situation, the requirement of documents would be same, or will it be different? Any guesses or any answers for the same? So my question is that in case you are applying, in case your client is asking for these, correct, different. So thank you, Maniji, for that. Ankit, thank you, thank you. Same. So how would be that same, Ankit? So my question is that, so individual will not have a COI, will not have right? So correct. So it would be different. So I click on individual, then I go to next. It is asking me, okay, it's first of all asking my email ID. So I go to next. So it is asking PAN of proprietor. It is asking passport size photo, Aadhaar, email ID, phone number. Right? I go back. I say no, I want to apply for a partnership form. So it is asking me partnership deed, KYC of all partners. So depending on my, first response, it would navigate me to different response. So if in case any of you have done a flow chart during your CA inter examination, so depending on one answer, it will navigate you to another answer, correct? So if your answer is yes, it will take you to this branch, or if your answer is no, it will take you to another branch. So this is what I was meaning here. So there was a question that how did it, right? Few documents, correct? Few, obviously few will be, but the idea is that it will not be 100% same. So considering that there are different responses, you may have to get different data. So how do I do it? We have to add two things here. One is this icon, if you're able to see, add section. So add section. So let's come back to this form previously, which we have uploaded. So I'm asking you a coverage of my topic, or say for instance, not again, I come to this question, which is rate the speaker, correct? So just a small question to you, that somebody who is rating the speaker bad. So what are as a normal person, would you like to ask further questions, or you would like to ask no questions? Ask for reasons, correct? So further questions, correct? So Sakshi, there can be a situation where even I know that, my session was not that good, so I may not ask questions. So it is dependent on the situation, correct? So, but still, as always, prudent person will try and understand that what went wrong. So somebody who is saying that the session was good, and somebody who is saying that it was very bad or bad. So I add a section here, right? So I add two sections after this. So I add two sections. This is one, this is two. So now there are two sections. So I write here good, or what went wrong. So that was not available with a linear scale because there may be 5 options available. So I go to good and bad. These are two options that rate the speaker good or bad in a multiple choice format. Then I click on these 3 dots and I then say go to section based answer. So it says that if the person is saying it went bad, so I want to understand what went wrong, correct? So I'll come back here on bad. I'll say take me to section 2. And somebody who is saying that the session was good, I don't want much answers from it. So I want I want to take him to directly submit form and close the poll or close the data collection process. So if let's see, does it works? I click the URL, shorten URL. Let's see how is the form working. So coverage on the topic was okay. Rate the speaker good. I go to next. It says you want to submit the form or not. I say no, I don't want to submit. I want to write bad comments. So you go to bad, and it's asking for me suggestions what went wrong. I can say that speed was bad or whatever I feel like. Then I go and I submit. So this was a simple use case that in case you find so you can build this into different formats in your office also, because my objective was to describe anything which could add value. So you can write, make a simple form today that, if you have a capital gain, then these documents are required. So five sources, what are the five sources of income do you have? So if you have salary, what we require is only Form 16 and interest certificate. If you do you deal in future option? Yes. So how many brokers do you have? This many. So after that, how many? These are the documents you need. So I may totally agree to the words of my senior that he'll not give me the entire documents, but one, this would probably make him aware that what are the expectations out of him. And second, how many of us you agree that will that add a professional, tone to our work, that, we actually are working in a professional manner. You may give data or not is a different thing. So how many of you feel that, if you ask data or you collect data, or at least you are making him aware of this data set requirements, so will it add a professional tone or not? Any suggestions or any feedbacks, do let me know. So post that, very absolutely, thank you so much. अच्छा, ये तो साक्षी खुद ही बोल रही है. So apart from audience, क्या बोल रहा है? Ankit is saying very will impress a lot. Great, thank you, Ankit. So again, a very small use case which is translate. So Google Translate एक बहुत अच्छा document है. इस पे क्या है कि आप सोचिए, we are in West Bengal, so there can be situation that I don't understand. But my Bengali was my third language, and I still at times find it difficult to read. But during audit, I go to a plant and I see a Bengali document. I'm not very sure. People, I may have to go to Odisha, or I may have to go to a Jharkhand where I don't understand that vernacular language in a factory audit. So you can go to Google Translate. You can convert that text into your required data. You can convert an image, you can convert to a document, you can convert the even website. So I'll just try and quickly demonstrate you 2 3 small use case. So how do you launch? You go to, so this is the icon, this is the entire PDF available, would be available. Then how do you do it? So in case for future references, right? I click on this, I scroll a little later down. So there's an option called translate. I go to translate. Let's see, I've built in some use cases which might help us. Google Translate documents I have here. Say, for instance, this is a website of Ravindranath Tagore, and it has some poems available, and I want to read. I really appreciate, but I am not able to understand. I click this link. This is showing in Bengali if you are able to see my screen correctly, right? But I want to read this. So again, I'll go to translate. I here. One is detecting the language by itself. I'm saying that I want the output in English, correct? And then I click on enter. Sorry, I did it wrong. I want the website to be converted into English. Does it work? Yeah. So is it working? So previously the website was this, and now it is this. Does it make sense? Yes or no? Any suggestions, answers? Great. So again, you can write a text. Say for instance, I don't want the entire site to be in converted. I only want this text to be converted. So I click on this space. It is again translating in English. So based on your need, you can convert text, you can convert an image, you can convert a document, you can even, read the entire website in a different language, irrespective of what language this website is being prepared. Great. So this was one situation, and I'll quickly, Shakshi, how much time do we have? 7 minutes, right?
Yes, but we can continue in case everybody is okay with it.
Okay, great. So, how many of, I believe all of us must be using some or the other form of GPT. It can be a chat GPT or a cloud AI or Gemini, whatever, right? So anyone not using any GPT model? Or let me rephrase, how many of us are using GPT models? So one yes, any more? Chat GPT, great. Cloud, right? So mixed audience of different GPT models. So I'll show you 2, 3 simple use cases with Gemini, which are actually amazing. Uh, if in case you are not using Gemini, so in case you are, how many of us, just allow me a minute, please. Right. Even I use the paid version of ChatGPT, but in case you are using the free version of ChatGPT, which is 3.5, or even it has now launched 4.0. If you go to that 3.5 icon, there are two situations. One, that there's no place to upload any document, right? But if you go to a free version, you can upload an image here. This is one. And again, I can, rather than typing, I can ask, can you write me an email for a payment reminder to a client who has been, I've been following him up for a long time. If possible, please make a reference to the new guidelines of MSME. I want the tone of the email to be a little professional and a little professional. That would be complete. So I stop my recording, right? So one, the interface to use becomes easy. This was one simple use case that I can, type. So say for instance, but this is not the situation. I want to know in, for instance, travel details of Kolkata. I'm not sure that will it be a proper situation or not. If I make a query, I can again go back to, so there's a very good icon here, which is, so it is by the time it is searching only at this point of time. So it is fun giving me all the places where I can visit in Kolkata. But it has one more added feature that you can double check your response. So these GPT models would be extracting data from different sources. So with this double check your response, you can again be a little more sure of the data which is being pulled. Second, you can share it. I've previously also shown that you can share it normally. You can make a shareable link and share it with people. You can export the entire document. You can even draft it. So when you click on export to document, it goes to your Google Docs. When you draft an email, it goes to your draft version, draft in email, right? So this is 2, 3 simple use case, but I like to demonstrate one more that, so this is a chart. Nowadays, all of us are, speaking about the data visualization. So it's a small data which I've taken, but actually I'm not very conversant with data charting or stuff like this. What I do is I'll copy the path of the URL link. I'll, I'll upload this file here, and then I can write, considering that I don't know much about data charting. I want you to bring in few insights related to the business and some actionable stuff so that I can make better decisions based out of this chart. And let's see what happens. So it would read the entire stuff, or it will try and make sense out of the connected dots here, and it can give me a better insight to the business. So it is saying that, sales are exceeding target, customer acquisition cost is high. So it is, rather, if even if you don't understand a data pattern, or if you don't understand an image, you can quickly bounce back to the Gemini model and ask for inputs, right? So this was one. Again, a very simple use case. For instance, I go to my main email ID, I write Gemini. All of you must, I hope, appreciate. So if I write, I'm supposed to, find out or make a, I want to make a chart of my CSC bill. I'm trying to close my accounts. I want to recheck that the bills which I have received. So one option is that I click on here and I say that, what were the bills. So I click on with the same subject. One, I would do a simple Google search. Well, I'll, try and get all the data. But in between, what would happen that there would be some emails which are from, these look like these emails are also coming here, which are of no relevance. So I go to Gemini, I write @Gmail. In Gmail, what I want you to search email. And let's see what happens. So what I'm expecting from this model is that it would give me a data, or it would tabulate the data of my entire electric consumption so that I can make better, I just want to extract data out of this, right? So let's see what does it does. So it is, making a chart of this entire stuff, consumer number wise, and then it is pooling the entire emails. So if you see, if I even in this situation, I'll have to open individual email, and then I have to again either come back, or I have to right click and open the emails, which is not possible. But in this model, I can open multiple emails, and that those emails will be opened in multiple tab one. So this is a good feature. And then let's see, if I am not still happy, I want it to be tabulated. So I ask it, can you tabulate the same? Can can you tabulate the month, amount, and the due date? So let's see, I'm asking it to make a table kind of format which would make my life easy. So does it works or not? So, it has given me a tabulation that this is the consumer number, this is the month, this is the amount, and this was the due date. So it's very easy to even, there's an option to export this sheet. So this would be again either in a Google Drive, or I can download it my Google Sheet. So it has opened a Google Sheet for me. So all my bills are there on my, with consumer number wise, date, amount. So this can be same applied for credit card or any kind of expenses if you are willing to make or tabulate. And I hope this was all from my side. I thank you for, being there, and I'll just share my coordinates of connection in case you are interested. So if you want, you can connect me on LinkedIn, and these are my coordinates. So so there was one small even details of Google Keep, which is a very good tool to keep or record audio actionable, and it is synchronized with your desktop and mobile simultaneously, and it's a free tool again. So could be a good one. And in case you are, I'll be happy to connect with you on LinkedIn. So these are my coordinates, and I'll stop presenting from here. Let's see in case there are any questions, or we can conclude. Thank you so much. So few of them have been using Copilot also, which is amazing, which has different capabilities altogether. So Sakshi, any specific questions? One is how can we send WhatsApp messages for an event recorded in Google Sheet? Not very sure. So there are two options. One is you have to manually, there is an integration which you have to manually click every time to send. Or alternatively, there are APIs which you need to purchase, and those would be a little costly. So it's 10,000 rupees for that API probably, and then some messaging charges. Google for creating barcode. So barcode, I'm not sure, but we've been using different tools to create barcode. Any more questions? Or else we'll probably conclude. Back to you, Sakshi.
All right. Thank you so much for such a wonderful session. The chat box was constantly buzzing actually throughout the session, which is actually a testimony of how much everybody was into the session and we all really enjoyed it. So honestly, I have like lot of takeaways from the session, and I would probably definitely include the different tools which are available. So till now I was using Gmail just like a very normal email box. I had no idea about the templates being there and so many other options, so many other features, and I'm sure we all have learned a lot. And of course, AI, chat GPT, Gemini, all these tools are available in the market to make our life easier. So just one little question from my side, since you are already using GPT-4, which is the paid version, like in your day-to-day practice, how do you feel that it's helping you, or what is the extra or the add-on that it is giving you? Because I have tried this. I've tried for 1 month this trial version, but didn't really explore it very much. So what is your take on this?
Or I'll be happy to answer. I'll just again try and reshare my screen once before I answer your question and complete situation, right? So three simple use cases. Sakshi, one is that I'll go to my YouTube. So before GPT-4, I didn't had a YouTube channel. I've made it post GPT-4. So I'll show you how it has helped me. So all of these videos are being created through GPT. Again, with alt text. So every time, you are supposed to teach in mid-size firm, you're supposed to teach or, explain stuff to your people. And the only difference is that, whenever we speak or when we describe or when we explain to our subordinates, it does not get multiplied, because next time somebody would come in, we'll again, repeat the same stuff. So again, a very simple video. I'll not go in detail. So this text, if you see, this text is taken by self. This or characters means the subtitles are coming by self. So one use case can be this. Second is although you may feel that I'm trying to brag on self, but believe me, I'm not doing that. So I'll go to my simple situation is. So I had a presentation at MCCI this week only. So this screen, considering that if you have been to MCCI, so this first page was just a kind of depiction with limited time, the round table, this, that. So this probably makes some difference. Post that, very good function in GPT, which I really appreciate, is my GPT. Even Institute has been talking a lot on that terms that, so this version can be used to create numerous photos based on your need. If you permit, as I see that the numbers are dropping, still I'll show a simple use case and I'll request you to be please there. This will add value to you. I'm sure about this. So one is my GPT. Just allow me a minute. So I go to explore GPT. Sorry. I go to Explore GPT. So this is one of the best tools which GPT has. That is my GPT. So a very simple use case that you can create or you can upload all your respective information. So considering that you are into GST, you compile all the GST sources and you make your own GPT. So every time you ask a question, it can answer based on your use case or based on the document. So it will not go on to the net and give you answer. It will give you answer based on the documents which you have uploaded. So all of these time, Big Fours have been leveraging on the the library they had. So a simple use case that I make an income tax GPT, right, or I make a guidance note on tax GPT, or I made a companies act GPT. So when an article would walk up to me, and considering that half of our time goes on answering telephone calls, and he ends into a dismay stating that his boss is usually not available to answer, you can simply say that, look, I have given you a better option of mine who will not have phone calls to attend. So he can answer you based on, please ask, the initial questions. I'll not say that it can replace me, but a simple a first year article or a 15 days article comes to you and asks that इस पे TDS लगेगा कि नहीं लगेगा. तो सिंपल यूज केस आप इंस्टीट्यूट के सारे मैट जो कि डायरेक्ट टैक्स के हैं उसको डाउनलोड करते हैं और माई जीपीटी पे अपलोड कर देते हैं और उसको बोलते हैं भाई तुम इस पे पहले क्वेश्चन पूछ, इसका क्या आंसर आता है इससे समझ फिर मेरे पास आना. आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि मेरे पास मत आना, but at least you'll come better informed. So this was a one very good use case, which is my GPT. And again, if you are someone who is a senior professional and still has good passion, but still at times find it difficult to work over with Excel because the younger folks would have X lookup, V lookup, all the kind of lookups they have, but you still have that. With GPTs and with all the technology, one thing which will always keep you navigating is your common sense. Say, for instance, I'll just and quickly show you a one simple use case, though it was not our topic, right? But I'll again sell this skill of mine also to you, all of you, and will highly recommend you to use this. So it's a sales data, right? So sales data of a brand store, which has a store, high street store, and so it has jeans, footwear, MRP, a simple data. I have not put in the entire data. I go to a paid version, which is data analyst. I'll upload the Excel here. And then I can keep on asking questions that can you tabulate the sales in months? So I upload this. Work. So it is reading the data set. It is saying that the data set has different headers. And then I'm asking, can you tabulate sales data in days of, let's see what happens. I hope in last session, what we have seen that it was, making it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it was it had tabulated the same. So it has tabulated the sales data. Now I'll show you one quick thing before I close. I again go back to my data. And I'll just enlarge my screen a little more. If you are able to see that there's only one option which is date. There's no day written here. So no Monday, Tuesday is written here. The model by itself actually, tabulated the days. This Monday, Tuesday, it is done by itself. So now next time you attend an FAFD class and you feel like these two principles are good for fraud detection, you have a say your data, you can apply, all that gyan of that fraud detection, please apply and tell me what are the outliers or whatever. So it is an open sky based out of your own vision. You can do wonders to my understanding. So this was a simple submission to answer, but I took 5 minutes probably. So I hope that's okay.
Thank you so much. I think that was a wonderful answer. And of course, since automation is the future and this is something that we have to accept and work with, else we will all become redundant in the market. because we have to keep up with the pace at which technology is growing. So thank you so much for such an insightful session. We all have very many takeaways. And thank you so much to all the participants for being a lovely audience and staying with us till the end. Thank you so much. Over to you, Sanjeev sir.
Is he there? I think he may not be there, so we can close
All
the
right,
call.
no worries. So, all right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Good night.